What's up, warriors, and welcome back to Courage to Conquer. It's your boy, De Niro, bringing you day two of Countdown to Christmas. And as I promised, I'm here. Now, I'm a little injured today, that's why I'm in the bed, so y'all gotta excuse me. But I said I was gonna give y'all a video every day, and I'm gonna give y'all a video every day, no matter what. I'm in some pain. The stomach is doing its own thing, so y'all may see me pause. I may scream. I'm giving you a forewarning in the beginning of this, okay? Oh, but welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I said, since yesterday I told y'all one of the big reasons why I like, or I should say love the holiday is because, in this season, is because of family. So I thought today I would give you all the story of how I met my biological father and eventually met my father's side of the family. Good Christmas treat, right? Right. So I've always known who my father was, and I've always known that I've had an older brother. My mom's told me since since I can remember. So I've always known who my father was. I knew his name, I knew his birthday. We would celebrate his birthday every year. My mom never talked bad about my father. She just said that they had me when they were young and things just didn't work out. And so, I've always wanted to know who my father was and I wanted to meet him and all that good stuff. I don't hold any animosity towards my father. I love my father. I was raised to love my father, and I was raised not to hate my father. Like, I have no hate towards him whatsoever. So in this next couple of minutes, I'm gonna tell y'all how I met him and how our relationship is now. And I don't know if he watches this because I know he is one of my Facebook friends. So he may watch this because I do post on my Facebook. And if it does, hey dad, nothing bad, just the truth. So about 10 years ago now, well, going on 10 years ago in 2010, I was on Facebook and there was a group called Riggins. And for all of you who don't know, I have a hyphenated last name. So my last name is actually Riggins Sanders, not just Sanders. But I just use Sanders. So it's this group on Facebook I was a part of, and it was called Riggins. And so I'm in there, and it was these two girls that were in there, and I don't know what it was. For one, they were talking about something, they were in Detroit. And one, my cousin Ursha, and my cousin Erica. That's their names. They're in the group. And so they were talking like amongst each other about it was some subject. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a street sign or something. It was a picture and there was a discussion going on. And it's crazy because they're Riggins, but they don't put the S at the end of their name. They leave the S off. And so out the blue, I asked him. I was like, "Hey, do y'all know Callaway?" And so my cousin Erica responded first, and she was like, "Uncle Cal, yeah. How do you know him?" And so I said, "I'm his son." So it was like this long pause, and then I remember I guess Erica called my cousin Ursha, and then Ursha started asking me questions. And so then they were like, "Well, can we call you?" And so I gave them my number, and they called. And so we were talking, and I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, Cal is my father. And they're like, "That's your father?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so then he started asking me questions. And so my mom, at this point in time, I had came up and I was next to my mom, and so my mom was telling me like only things that like his family would know, and so, and I'm not gonna get into the specifics because then y'all will know information that y'all need to know. So just know that it was some information exchange that only close people would know, and so then they called their mother my aunt, and so my aunt Pat told them to ask me certain questions, so I'm able to answer these questions. So then we decide that we're going to meet. And so I want to say this was like, we started having a conversation, I would say maybe, and these dates are probably wrong. I'm just guesstimating. So I'm going to say we probably started talking like in April. I'm sorry, March, April. Yeah, it was. I know it was around March, April, because I remember I said that his birthday had just passed. Because mind you, like I told y'all, my mom, every year she'd be like, "What's today?" And it'd be like, "It's my dad's birthday," okay, or my father's birthday. And so they're asking me these questions, and I'm able to answer the questions. And so we decided we're gonna meet, and we meet in the summertime. I want to say it was like either June or July, because my grandmother would be coming up from Georgia, and I would be able to meet her and my uncles and my aunts. And so we plan on a date. We say it's going to be, I'm just gonna say July 15th or whatever, and we're gonna meet at my Aunt Pat's house. And so me and my mom, we go to my Aunt Pat's house. I remember I was like really nervous. We parked and there's a picture that my mom has of me and her. It's a family picture that we have. It's me and her, and then what she did was she had my father's picture put in at the bottom. And we had that, and I remember we get out the car, and I was walking up the driveway. And as I walked up the driveway, my grandmother she was in the back, and she could see me as I was walking up, and all you did was hear her scream, "Oh my God, oh my God, my God, oh my God." And they was like, "If that ain't Cal, if that ain't Cal," because they say that out of all of his, out of all of us, and there's three of us, that I look like my father the most. I think we all look alike, actually. I'm, I have to show a picture one day of me, my father, and my older brother. And so all you hear is my grandmother say, "Oh my God, oh my God." And so I get back there and I'm just nervous, but the nerves drop because I'm around family. And I remember I met my Uncle Charles and my Aunt Sylvia. And it was just like so many people there. My Aunt Pat, and they were just so warm and so welcoming. And my cousin Ursha, and she was like, "Hey, I didn't meet Erica. I did meet Erica that day. I met her later on that day though. But we just like we kicked it. And my mom, like, she stayed for a while because, of course, my mama's only child, so she want to make sure she's like, "Okay, I know this your family, but uh, I need to make sure, you know." And so like she stayed for a little while, then she left, and then I just kind of hung out with them for a little while. Then we went inside because it got kind of chilly because they went tonight. And funny thing, I don't think we've never talked about it, but it was funny because while we were in the house chilling in the basement, my father called, and my aunt has one of those TVs. She had the cable system to where when you call, the name comes across the TV, and all you did was see my father's name come across the TV, and he get like dead quiet. It was, oh God, oh God. Ooh, hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. Ooh, I laughed too hard, and it started hurting. Mm. Ooh, okay. Ooh, excuse me. And so I was able to meet. I was able to meet all of them, and then he had called to see how everything went. And then a year later, yep, a year later. So then in January 11th, I'm sorry, 2011, I was in Florida. Actually, no, let me go back. Because, so that happened in June, and then they were telling me because I had a cousin, my cousin Terrence was getting married, and they invited me to the wedding, but I didn't quite feel comfortable going to the wedding because for me it was like it was kind of like an overload because I just met some of them, and then like going to meet some other people, and then it being a wedding, I didn't want to. Part of me, like, I didn't want to take away from the shine of my cousins and them wedding, because, oh, everybody be like, okay, who is this? Oh, this is a new family member. So I was kind of hesitant. So I didn't go to my cousin Terrence's wedding. But I kept in contact with my aunts and my cousins. And then in 2011, my cousin CJ was getting married. And CJ invited me to the wedding. And they were in Georgia. So at this point in time, I had actually moved to Florida for work. And so I drove up to Georgia and got to the hotel that all the family was at. And I remember I went to Aunt Pat's room first because I called Ursha, and Ursha had said, she had told me what room she was in, but she told me Aunt Pat's room too. And I think I got to Aunt Pat's room. No, I went to Ursha's room first. So I went to Ursha's room, and then Ursha told me what room Aunt Pat was in. And then I went down to Aunt Pat's room and seen her. And then she was like, have you seen your daddy yet? Have you seen your daddy? And I was like, nah. And so I left her to go meet my Aunt Laura. So then I left her room. I went to Aunt Laura's room, met Aunt Laura, and that's where my grandma was. And so I would see my grandma and say hello to her, met my Aunt Laura, and then they was telling me to go back down to Aunt Pat's room. So I get to Aunt Pat's room, who's my Aunt Patricia. I get to her room, and she's like, she had asked me something. Oh, she asked me again to see my daddy, and I was like, no. But the funny thing is I actually had seen my father and didn't know that I had seen him, because I actually went past him and my Uncle Keith in the hallway and didn't realize it. And so I had left the room again because I had to do something. Oh, I think I had to check. I had to check into my hotel. Yeah, I think I checked into my hotel room is what I did. And so then I came back to Pat's room, and she's on the phone. She was like really excited, and so I'm like, okay. She's like, just hold on, just hold on. And so then my dad and my Uncle Keith walk in the room, and she's like, you know who that is? You know who that is? And she's really excited, and I was like, no. And she was like, that's your daddy. That's your daddy. Meet your daddy. And I was like, hey. Oh God. And he was like, how you doing? And I was like, okay. And it was kind of awkward. But I think the only reason it was awkward was because it was like, we was both caught off guard. And we didn't really talk. We kind of talked for a couple of minutes, but it really wasn't like anything major. And then I remember, so then we went to my cousin's wedding, which was beautiful. They got married in Atlanta at this place, and it was, when I tell you it was beautiful, the the upstairs when you walk in is where the actual wedding was, and then they had another hall downstairs in the basement or in the bottom, because I don't think it was the basement, it was just the bottom, and that's where the reception was. And I remember, so after the wedding, I went down to where the reception was, and they had, because the event planner was there, and I told her my name, and she was like, oh, you're not on the list. And so I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, okay. So I was like, I was just invited to the wedding portion. I wasn't invited to the reception. And I was like, hey, it's all good. I mean, I'm in Atlanta. I got friends in Atlanta. I used to go to. Mm. Oh, God, 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 God. I'm sorry, y'all. These pains. I was trying to. I was trying to keep talking, but that one just hit real bad. But anyway, so we at the reception, and I was like, okay, well, my name not on the list. I'll just leave and I'll meet them later on. I get in the car, I leave out the parking lot, and here come my cousin Ursha calling, telling my son, "Yo, daddy said come back." And I was like, what? It's like, "Yo, daddy said come back. You ain't leaving. You gonna eat with the family." And I was like, okay, but they said my name was on the list, so it's not a big deal. Like, it's okay. So they was like, "No, your daddy said come back right now." So I'm like, okay. So I go back, and basically what it ended up being was I had they had sent me an invite and I had accepted, and somehow it got lost in translation. But my cousins was like, my cousin who had gotten married, him and his wife, they were like, "No, come in, sit down, eat, everything is okay, don't worry about it." But my father was gonna give up his seat so that I could sit and eat with the family, but that wasn't even necessary. So I ate. I mingled with them for the weekend. It was really nice, really cool. And then again, I kept in contact with them. And I, go by and visit my aunts. Not necessarily saw my dad. But then last year they had family reunions like every 2 years. Last year in 2018, they had a family reunion. And it was this big push for me to come to the family reunion. And even my dad at this point had reached out and said that, you know, he would like for me to come to the family reunion. So I showed up, and I was really excited, one, because I get to meet even more family, but then two, I would get to meet my big brother who I had heard about. Growing up, my mom had always told me that I had an older brother, and she couldn't remember if he was a year or 2 years older than me. And he's like a year and 11 months older than me, so almost 2 years. And his name is Quincy, and I got to meet him. And when I tell you, like, my brother is so cool. So when we first met, it was like, he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he was kind of standoffish, but rightfully so, because he didn't know the story. He had just heard about me, and he didn't really know what was going on. So, you know, my cousin Ursha, who I'm real cool with, she was like, yeah, she was like, she was like, he just kind of found out about you or whatever. Like, I mean, he's known about you, and you talk to him on the phone or whatever, but like now y'all meeting face to face, so he kind of got some questions. So I'm like, okay, hey, cool, I can only be me, and I can respect him for having questions because he ain't know about me. And so eventually he ended up talking to my father. Him and my father had a conversation. So then me and him had a conversation. And the first thing he said, he was like, he was like, "I'm gonna be upfront. I'm gonna be honest with you, because my brother real. I love him to death. Love you, bro. If you see this, I love you for real." But I got introduced to him again, and he introduced me to his wife and his daughter. And at that time, my sister in love, because I don't like to say sister-in-law, I say sister in love. So my sister in love, Katie, she was pregnant. But then me and my brother had a conversation. He was like, "I just want to let you know." He was like, "I wasn't trying to be mean or nothing up front." He was like, "But, I ain't know nothing about you. And I needed to find out. But, I talked to Dad. Dad told me, the story. And, you my brother. So, hey, it's all love. It's all family." And I was like, I can respect that. Like, cool. Now, the only thing is, I wish that me and my brother kind of talked more. But, again, that's kind of both our fault, because we can reach out to each other. We do send texts back and forth. When he found out that I was sick, he reached out and, was like, "Hey, what's going on? What's wrong?" And we communicate through Facebook. Like I said, we do text. I do want to get down to Florida and spend some time with him and the kids, and then meet his two older children too. Cause I mean, like it's just real cool when you get to meet family that you know. Oh God. Oh. Oh. Again, y'all gotta excuse me. I told y'all I'm in pain, but I gotta get this vlog out to y'all. Whew, Jesus. Okay, I gotta wrap this up, cause this is increasing. But so yeah, I got to meet my brother, have a conversation with him, love him to death. Me and my father sat down and talked and had a conversation, and I let him know, you know, like I don't hate you. I don't hold any animosity towards you. I know, like, and it's crazy because sometimes we get together and it's kind of awkward, but I think that's just the fact because he feels like I have some hate or resentment towards him, but I don't. I don't know how many times I can tell him that, but hey, it's all in love. And I just thought I would share that story with you all. So some of you all who may have some tarnished relationships or you don't have relationships with some family members, it's never too late to reach out and start a new relationship. You know, like I told y'all yesterday, the past, you can't do anything with it but learn from it. So just learn from it. And then you gotta live in your present. Because I'm happy, you know, for one, that I had a mother who never talked bad about my father, so I don't have any hate or resentment towards him. You know, she helped me celebrate my father on his birthday. That's something that a lot of single mothers don't do. But I have the privilege to have an awesome mother who did that. So I don't have any of those negative feelings. She never spoke a ill word about my father, and still to this day doesn't and never will. That's just not her character. But I'm able to have these relationships now with his side of the family. I'm able to know my brother and have a chance to know him even more and know his family and his growing family, you know. And I'm just very thankful for that. And around the holiday season, again, that's why I love it because it's all about family and it's all about love. And coming from the family that I come from on my mother's side, which is filled with love and care and thoughtfulness and so much, they just have so much love on that side. And then to see my father's side to where they have that same love. So I know where my love for people comes from because it comes from both sides. I just think that's awesome and amazing. But on that note, I'm going to end. As always, if you feel like you are not loved and you have no one, feel free to reach out to me. As always, the information will be down at the bottom. I thank you all for your support and your love, but your boy got to go because I'm in pain and I'm holding it in and I want to scream so bad right now. So love y'all. Love, peace, light, positive energy. See y'all on tomorrow.